Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Obi-Thorn Alliance. What are we doing today, Jacob?
We're recapping The Last of Us, Episode 4.
So stick around if you want to see what we thought of Episode 4. So, Episode 4 of The Last of Us is weirdly enough called Please Hold to My Hand. This is not a typo. It grammatically makes no sense. I'm not sure if there's something I've missed there. The shortest episode so far, 45 minutes. It's rated 8.5 according to IMDb, so it's, just a bit below some of the episodes so far. Top cast members, we've got PedroPascal, obviously Bella Ramsey playing Ellie as usual, and then we get introduced to someone new, a character called Kathleen according to IMDb, which is played by Melanie Linsky. So where's she famous from? Where would people know her from?
2.5 Men and show in Paramount Plus.
So, according to IMDb, the storyline is after abandoning their truck in Kansas City, Joel and Ellie attempt to escape without drawing the attention of a vindictive rebel leader, which is who we were just talking about, the star from 2.5 Men. So, going into a bit more depth, what really happens in this episode? So, they cast it as saying that they're in Kansas City trying to escape a vindictive leader, but I don't know if they know that at first. There's a bit more to it. So break it down for me.
Basically, they're still in their car and then they get into a predicament because Ellie could fit through the hole, but Joel couldn't, and then decides to head back, and then they meet this group, and then they get into a situation that he recognizes, and then they get surrounded, and then they have to unfortunately kill 2 people.
Yeah, basically they're confronted with someone pretending to be injured. Joel, knowing what exactly they're trying to do, takes off. Car's tires blow up. Car crashes. They get into a fight. Ellie has to shoot a man to try and save Joel. And, we later find out that it's not her first and that she's had to shoot or kill. And we also see this other vindictive rebel leader kind of searching for someone. What was the name of the character they keep referring to? She's interviewing a doctor who she eventually kills. I don't really know what the doctor's done to her, but she kills him. And they go on this hunt looking for Joel and Ellie. They don't fully know who they're looking for because anyone that came in contact with him had been killed. And Joel and Ellie hide in this hotel or apartment building only to then be ambushed at night by who we assume is what do you think? Villain, or he's on the good guy's side?
I guess we'll see and don't want to judge.
You don't want to judge. Usually you love trying to predict what's going to happen.
I think they'll team up and then become allies to try and get out of the situation.
To be honest, I don't remember. I'm assuming this was part of the game, which is sad because I love the games, but some things are still a bit blurry. It was a long time ago, but I think you might be right. I think they might team up and work together. He has a young son, and I think you might do some kind of co-op stuff with them, and they, end up taking out this rebel leader who's managed to take down a whole federal base, and they've got, lots of weapons and people at their disposal. Where do you think it ranks compared to the other episodes?
In runtime, it's obviously the shortest, but we get the most character development. It was really an outstanding episode and probably the best one.
Yeah, do you think it was quite action-packed compared to the others?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think when I saw it was going to be 45 minutes, I thought, this is going to be fairly action-packed because the other episodes have been long, but they've had lots of dialogue and stretched out storylines. I thought, if it's going to be action-packed, it's going to be short. Otherwise, nothing much will happen if it's based upon the pacing of the previous episode. So, I don't know where I put it with the others. I think it was, the most action-packed. Whether it's my favourite, it's always hard to go past the starting episode. And generally with a series, sometimes the finishing episode's the only one that can really top the beginning. Very solid once again, and very happy. You looking forward to what's to come next?
Yes, episode 5 is going to be amazing, I would assume.
Yeah, so we've got episode 5 coming out today, early due to Super Bowl. So we'll be watching that straight after this video. Any other guess with me about this episode?
I guess now they have worked out the clickers in the area, but they didn't want to tell their people.
Yeah, there was something going on, the underground. I have a feeling from the game it was maybe like, and I don't know if they call them abominations, but that's how I would describe it. Further morphed version of clickers, where they're now like these massive, huge things that are infected that are hard to take down. I think that might be where it's going. So, the rebel leader doesn't want to let her people know that's what's happening underground, and they kind of like mask it up and pretend like nothing's going on there.
I definitely felt like out of all the other episodes, we got the most banter and character development from Joel and Ellie. Joel has kind of unmasked himself, and they're finally sharing between each other.
Yeah, you can really start to see that there's a relationship building there, and even though Joel, isn't her father, he's starting to take a kind of fatherly role towards her. Like he was a father once, and his daughter was murdered, and Ellie is kind of starting to fill that void. I can't remember if there's any reference to her having a family or a dad or what happens there, but you can see that she's starting to warm to him, and they're building a relationship. He's trusting her with weapons. He's going to teach her how to use them, which is obviously going to become a bigger part in the storyline, because she's going to have to, help fend for herself or help protect Joel at times. So it's building really nicely there. Do you think they're getting any closer to finding Joel's brother?
I would assume that happens later on in the season, since there's 9 episodes.
Yeah, again, it's something I don't fully remember, but I feel like was towards the end when that kind of had a solid episode. I was impressed that they didn't overdo it with the killing. I recently started playing the game again. I'm not up to this part as we are in the show. I'm a little bit further back, maybe more what happened in episode 2. The killing, there was a lot more shooting and fighting in the game, which, is a game. You don't watch a game where there's just dialogue. You need to do something. But the show has kind of toned it back and made it realistic, where more on par with the game. It'd be, an hour worth of just watching Joel and Ellie kill people. So they've toned it back, and it works well. They each have their separate roles. One's hands-on and you're the characters, and the other you're watching. So watching needs to be it can be a bit more cinematic and dialogue-based.
Definitely enjoyed them going into the city. I guess survival instincts, they had to kill the 2 people that were gunning for them.
Yeah, kill or be killed. I think you mentioned the city there. I really like the scenery they've set. I think however they've done that with CGI, or I can't imagine they've got abandoned cities they're filming in, but could be wrong. It looks how it was depicted in the game, and I think it really gives an idea of what an apocalyptic future could be like. Even though I admit it's not the future to us because it's set in our timeline, but what life would have been like if there was an apocalyptic event such as what's happened in The Last of Us. I think it's very, very pretty scenery.
I guess the question is how did this group take over from the military?
Again, I don't remember, but I'm sure it was just through, building enough rebels and overpowering them, and, probably some help with the zombies. Probably they time it right. They could have had the military fighting against them, and then they can sneak attack and whatnot. But they've kind of created their own society. I guess it's something I want to know more about as well with the military or Fedra, how they work. They seemingly seem bad people, but their role you think should have been to protect society, but instead it seems like they kill anyone that comes in from the outside, and they don't want people on the inside to leave, and they give them tasks that actually seem aggressive and standoverish and not how they should be. So it's something I'm looking forward to exploring more. I think the game does it a little bit. Hoping the show might give a bit more backstory. We didn't get any flashbacks this episode.
No, it was strange not having them.
Yeah, you've been seeing a bit of insight into how the virus has developed, but this episode didn't do that. We just got straight in at some kind of, whether petrol station or truck stop, and looking for supplies, and then, into, basically now they're without a car, and they've got to somehow get from one side of the city to the other, which sits with the game really well, because the game is a lot of that, going in a short spaces and moving from room to room opposed to driving freely along a highway.
I do have to say the scene when she kills the doctor was a little bit hard to take seriously, because she was in 2 man. It's kind of different roles, but I don't know, it was hard to take seriously.
Yeah, I agree. She doesn't look overly menacing, and you just feel like maybe it's all a bit of a joke. It's necessarily I guess her role in 2.5 Men plays a part in it, but she has that kind of squeaky voice where it just doesn't seem aggressive. It doesn't have that right tone about it, but we'll see. She might come to be like a really serious villain that we grow to hate, you know, like a Negan from The Walking Dead kind of thing.
Was this your favourite episode?
No, I think episode 1, as mentioned before, was still my favourite, but this was the really enjoyable, easy to watch episode for sure. And we're left on a cliffhanger, which is, you know, something exciting to look forward to, and we got the next episode tonight to do so.
I'm eager to see, as an audience member, to learn more
Ellie's why she actually had to kill someone in her young age, because she does talk about so much about being in the military school that she had to kill her.
Someone that looked after her there to try and escape. Like, a lot to learn about that. That feels like very important dialogue. And also Joel, with how he kind of didn't really give an answer if he killed innocent people or not. Kind of interesting dialogue.
Yeah, with the Ellie question, I don't know how the show will explore that, because in the game it's a whole additional additive to the game.
Okay.
So maybe they might just make reference to it. Basically, if you complete the game when it was remastered, they added a whole extra... Well, I guess you could say it's almost a spin-off game. It's not a full game, where it follows Ellie and a friend of hers. Yeah, so it surrounds what happens with her and her friend. So maybe they're just going to make a reference to it, and those that have played the game knew what happened when she said this wasn't the first time. You know, the show may follow on to it, maybe even in the second season.
Still very a solid show. I don't see the show really dropping in quality, and I still would recommend it to people if you still haven't watched. 4 episodes to watch, and the 5th one is coming out on Friday. Still think it's worth watching.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, do yourself a favour, get out and see it.
Well, thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye-bye.